everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be checking out the new 1.17 snapshot 21W05B. Before we get into the video, please make sure you like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel, and also make sure to share this video so more people can learn about the 1.17 snapshot. So guys, the main purpose of this video is to focus on the latest 1.17 snapshot 21W05B, as you might know. However, I'm also including all of the collected items and features that we've received so far throughout the whole 1.17 series of snapshots. So guys, first up, this is not a real spawning cave. I have created this myself as an example of what the new Lush Caves may look like in the future. So when I had a look at the image that Mojang posted of their Lush Caves, I noticed that there would be patches of grass or patches of dirt coming out of the walls. It wouldn't just be all lush. It would be, you know, like the greenery is taking over the cave. I also noticed that they used a lot of clay around the water, and obviously the axolotls in the water as well. So the main lighting source here is the glowberries, right? That's what's mainly lighting up the cave, but then in addition we also have some of the glow lichens that were added in the last snapshot as well. So guys, first up we have powdered snow. And if you want to learn more about this block and in more detail, there is a link up in the top of the screen that you can click right now and go to a older video that I made when the powdered snow update came out. So basically the main idea of this was to have snow that you can walk through and also fall through. So if I were to jump on this, I would fall through it, as you can see. So as you can see, you fall through the block and also have this nice effect. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But first, you can see it comes in a bucket. And if we were to just place the bucket here, it comes out, and you can also pick it back up in the bucket. Now, something special with the leather boots is, with leather boots on, you can walk on the powdered snow. However, if you shift, you do fall through it. So you basically allowed to stand on it, but if you want to go down, you can press shift and fall through. So guys, as I said before, the next thing about this block is if you are inside of it, you will start to take freezing damage, but not with boots on. So we need to take the boots off, and now you'll see we'll start to get a freezing effect, and the field of view starts decreasing. After a while, our hearts turn this lovely crystal blue color, and we start taking freezing damage. But that's it for the first update. Now on to the next. The next thing Mojang added were candles. Now, candles come in all the different Minecraft colors that you may know, blue, orange, and they also come in this default candle, waxy, kind of, just the default. So there's also white along with it. So as you can see, the candles come in all the different colors of the Minecraft rainbow, so all the different colors you can see. Along with this new color, we've got here the default candle. And this default candle is just a waxy sort of color. Now if we just grab some of these, you'll see when you place them, as soon as you add the next one, there's more, until we get the stack of 4. There's also the colored ones that look like that. And in case you were wondering, here's what the white, red, and blue looks like as well. So you can light them, and they do light up like that. So yes, one of my favorite features about the candle is the cakes. So now you can have birthday cakes in Minecraft. It's excellent. The next thing in our list is the Spyglass. It has also gone through many iterations in the past, and in fact, used to be a circle, but now, as you can see, it is a square when you zoom in, and we've got a nice effect, like you can see the lens. It's also 3D in the inventory, and when you hold it, obviously, and there's also an animation for when you right click with it, in the F5 mode. So yes, next up was the Amethyst update. So in this update, we've got all the new Amethyst blocks. Then we have the Amethyst, and the main thing about this is the block of Amethyst. Yep. And one of the best things is the noises that it makes. So I'll let you have a listen. So yes, also another thing with the amethyst is there's also the budding amethyst. So you can see here we've just got a normal amethyst block, and here we've got the budding amethyst block. And the job of this amethyst budding block is it grows crystals like this, and the crystals grow into, I accidentally destroyed that, but you saw before all the different stages of the crystal. I've got some more here, so that's all the stages. If when it's like this, you harvest it, you get shards. And with these shards, you can make the telescope, that's what you need, or the spyglass, should I say. That's what you need to make the spyglass, and some other cool features that Mojang may implement in the future. So now we're going to take a look at what this amethyst looks like in the actual game. And so what it comes in is forms of, they call them amethyst geodes. And so basically they're giant egg-like formations with just a giant room of these blocks here, and that is where you can harvest these. Cool thing that Mojang made with these blocks was that you cannot move the budding amethyst, right? So this is the one that you need to grow the crystals, and you can see even with Silk Touch it just breaks. You cannot move that block. You can, however, move this one, but this one is just for aesthetics and it doesn't actually do anything in the cave. So let's go have a look at the cave right now. Here we are, have an amethyst geode right here. And you can see if you were just playing in normal survival, sometimes they're just alone like this, but other times they're connected to cave systems, and you know, who knows, while you're strip mining you could run into one. And I remember at the start of the episode, I saw the top of one sticking out of the ground, so that was pretty lucky. So a few of the blocks that it comes with is obviously the amethyst, but then it also came with this stuff here, which is called calcite, and this outer verimost layer, which is called tuff. So yes, we've got tuff and calcite. So yes, the special block in this is the budding amethyst, and as you can see, we cannot move it and make a farm in our base. The whole reason for this is Mojang wanted people to explore the Minecraft world and not just make farms in their base, but have to go out and explore to find new farms. And it's kind of like a mob spawner, you know? You cannot put one in your base. Well, you can build one, but not a mob spawner, if you know what I mean. So from that, at least the ones I could reach, we got over a stack of crystals, or shards, which is possibly more than we could need right now, because the only things we can make with it right now is a special tinted glass block and the telescope, or the spyglass. So I don't see much of a big use of actually farming this stuff, but that poses the question, what's to come? Because as they're saying, they want us to try and farm this, so obviously we're going to be needing big quantities of this stuff. So, you know, I guess go down to the comments and write your ideas on what you think Mojang's gonna do with these amethyst shards. And now we have a later update, which included the skulk sensors. Now, the skulk sensor is a block that senses vibrations, so not sounds, but specifically vibrations. And a cool thing about this is it doesn't sense any natural, well, most natural vibrations. So they call this, like they explained it as in, it gets used to the sounds as it's around it so much, so it doesn't pick them up. So an example of that would be the rain, thunder, or stuff like that. But they do still detect mobs and also players moving. A way you can stop it from hearing you is if you crouch. So a cool feature with the skulk sensor is it's called wool occlusion. So basically, this wool block is blocking my vibrations to the skulk sensor. So if I'm jumping around here moving, it can't detect that, but as soon as I move the wall block, it can detect it. You know, for a trap, if you were to walk into a trap, you get the noise, but also you can see the particle fly off you. Oh. But yes, as you heard, I mentioned trap. Now the only way this could work for a trap is if it emitted a redstone signal. It does. But not only does it emit redstone signals, depending on what it detects, it emits different redstone signals. We can use a comparator to take the output of that and put it into anything we want. Right here for the example, I have a redstone lamp that gets powered every time this sensor gets sensed. Nice. And yes, you can break these with iron pickaxe. I'm not sure about stone, but definitely iron pickaxes you can break them with. Right, so next up we have the dripstone stuff. Here's the dripstone blocks. Alright, so the dripstone block we've got here, dripstone block. This is a part of a new cave biome that Mojang plans to make, called the Dripstone Caves, or the Dripstone Caverns. I'll show you a picture right now. Yes, so that's what they plan it on looking like, and Mojang have not created any cave biomes yet. The only thing close to that is the Amethyst geodes. But yes, they have created the blocks and figured out the mechanics for it. So this acts as just something you place. Another cool feature about these is it increases the fall damage. Obviously, you're falling onto a spike. See? Much more than what I would usually take of fall damage. That also applies to mobs, so this could be used for pretty easy mob spawners, for mob farms. So another cool feature with these is they can hang as well, so it can be stalactites and stalagmites. So the top ones are stalactites, and you can remember that just by thinking they have to hold on tight to the roof, and that's basically how you do it. Alright, so as you can see, they drip particle effects, why they're called the Dripstone Caves, or the Dripstone Block, they drip. Pretty self-explanatory. But one of the coolest things about this is actually how it falls. You might have just seen there, if you disconnect a piece, it falls. So I can show you an example of this by breaking this, and it falls. And yes, if it falls on something, it will damage it. So here we have just 1, 2, so when I destroy the top one, it's just going to be one tiny little piece falling on me. Now it does not matter how many there is, it just matters the height at which it drops from. So this can kill you pretty easily. So I'll just show an example of it taking damage. See there, it did hardly any damage because it was right above my head when it fell. But it can get a lot more dangerous when it's higher up. So that's basically it for the dripstone block, but there is one last thing you can do with it, which I think is probably one of the most amazing things you can do with it. You can join them, and they will join up. So you can see that one's just joined up there. And another cool pattern you can do is make them alternate. So you can have 1, 2, 3, and then you can have 1, 1, 2, 3, like that, and have them alternating, and it looks quite nice as a pattern. But I won't show you the full thing. You can play around with this for yourself in your own world. It's time to get to the glow squids, which is the next update that Mojang released. The glow squid update introduces a few new items to the game, namely the glow squid, which you all voted for. The glow squid, it lets off particle effects, and that's about it. Thank you for voting for this epic mob. Epic. Very epic. You know what else it does? It, you can see it from further away. I just happen to think that is the most magical and wonderful thing that Mojang could have ever added to the game, because it just makes it so much better in every way. But yes, on the rather more interesting note, we have the glow item frame, interesting, the glow squid, the glow ink sac, you know, I mean, it's pretty expected, and then this new block, the glow lichen. So, yes, as I said, the glow squid, pretty boring. I mean, this is kind of cool, but like... Right, so now we have some glow ink sacs we can pretend to make some of the other items. So, now, this does nothing at all whatsoever in the daytime, alright? You see that? And that, they're the same, right? However, when we go to nighttime, you see the difference now. You can see this a lot more clearly than this now. So if we go back from a distance, you can see one more clearly than the other. Not too useful, but yeah, it's a pretty cool feature. You can make signs also bright. So you see this glow squid stuff sign? Oops. Well, now it's been glorified, and if we just set the time to night, it does nothing. So magically another sign appeared. I don't know what that says. Don't read it. So yeah, if we dye one of these red and the other one red, if we put the glow stuff on this sign, you can see it does nothing in the day. But if we switch over to nighttime, we'll start to see the difference. There's the difference. So at nighttime, you'll be able to see the sign a lot more clearly, right, than the other sign. It also changes the color, but only at nighttime. Alright, these things are very nighttime specific, so it won't change anything in the day, which I think is interesting as well. But, you know, there you are. You know, if you want people to read your signs a bit more easily in the nighttime, there you have it, your fix. Yeah, so now we have the glow lichen, which is a block you place, and it's like exactly like vines. It even makes the same noise as vines, except you can't climb them, and you need shears to break them. I think you need shears for vines anyway. Moving on, it's a light source, and what Mojang have done with it is created, you know, light sources to light up the caves. I remember seeing the first preview of the cave biomes, and they said they lit up the ores, so to make it a lot prettier for the preview. And that got me worrying, you know, is that because they look pretty bad not lit up? So, you know, I was quite wondering what they were going to do there, but this was their fix. So as you can see, we've just spawned into a randomly generated cave. I have set a TP here, but I swear I did not place any blocks here. This is a totally natural cave, and there you are. There's one piece up there, because these are all separate updates, most of them, and I haven't been covering them because it's been over the holidays. So yes, but now from now on, every single update that comes out for Minecraft 1.17 I will be covering in the videos. Another reason why you should subscribe. First thing that I want to cover is the moss blocks. Alright, there's moss blocks and moss carpet, which I think is very interesting. So we've got the two blocks here. You know, it is basically another version of grass. It looks like a better lawn, right? If you were gonna have a garden, that looks a bit plain, but this looks a lot better. And also there's better noises when you step on it. I mean, that's pretty cool. There's also the moss carpet, which makes it even more interesting, as we can add layers to this, you know, make it a bit more interesting instead of just flat, right? So next up we have the azalea bushes. Now these things are really, really pretty. We've got the one that's not flowering, oops, and the one that is flowering. So you can see the one that is not flowering, it just looks like a bonsai. Here's the flowering azalea, also looks like a bonsai. One thing I did note when I was setting up this path is you cannot put any of these new things in pots yet. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to change and you can pot the azalea bushes, which I really hope, because then we can have proper bonsais. We'll have to see what happens in the future for that. If you want to find out too, you should subscribe, because I will be covering it. But yeah, those are the azalea bushes, and fun fact, you can insta-mine them. Next up we have the azalea trees. Now this is a lie because, as you may have saw in the first part of the video, these, they're not in yet, alright? There's no azalea trees, so calm down. I've made these myself by looking at the pictures that we saw in the snapshot, right? They like hang over with this hangy bits, right? That's the best I could do. So we haven't seen them naturally spawn in yet. They don't, and nor do the Lush Caves or any caves apart from the Amethyst stuff. So yeah, this is what I think it will look like, and what Mojang has said it will look like. We can get to the azalea leaves. Now, we have the, again, non-flowering azalea leaves and flowering azalea leaves, which is a very, well, not a very long title, but it's a pretty long title for a leaf block at least. So, but these are the two. Next thing is rooted dirt. So we've got two things here. We've got the rooted dirt and also the hanging roots. So two new items here. So we've got the rooted dirt, which you may have seen back in the start of the video, underneath the azalea tree. Now this is what they've told us so far. The rooted dirt will be underneath the azalea tree. Now we're not too sure if it's going to be underneath every tree. I'm personally hoping that it's underneath every tree, because that would be quite cool. But from what we've seen, it's underneath the azalea trees, and that is why they've added them in this snapshot and not any others. But yes, it also comes with the rooted dirt, the hanging roots, sorry, and these hang off, I'm pretty sure it's anything, but it could just be the rooted dirt. I haven't experimented too far with them, but yes, that's what they look like. So next up we have, oh yeah, if you haven't seen, there's this massive mountain up here. That's quite cool. So I think we're gonna be going up it. Alright, let's go up. Alright, now we are at the top of the mountain, which, may I say, spectacular view. And may I just say how lucky this spawn is. So we've got a pillager outpost and a ruined portal with gold and other treasures. Two of these things, which I think is to do with that, but I'm not sure. They're like scarecrow things. And then there's a massive mountain and all of this stuff behind us. Like, look at this terrain. This is amazing. We have the glowberries, which there's the glowberries, and we need some bone meal to show you this. So, glowberries, you can eat them. I think this world's peaceful, so to get the glowberries, they either grow naturally, or you can bone meal them in, like that. Then you need shears. Never mind, you don't need shears. You just need to right click, like a berry, sweet berry bush. All right, well I didn't know that, and I think you can just farm it by, yeah, look at that. You just hold down bone meal and you instant glowberry farm. And I'm not sure how useful that is, but right. So next up we have the drip leaf. A few blocks here to play around with. So first of all, we've got clay. We need that. Bone meal. We got some. Now there's two types of drip leaves, right? We've got the big drip leaf and then the small drip leaf. Pretty simple. We also need a water bucket. So the big drip leaf, we'll start off with that. The big drip leaf can be placed anywhere, right? On dirt, on grass, on stone, anywhere, and it doesn't have to be next to the water. We could place one over here, right? Doesn't do anything, okay? It doesn't die or anything, right? It can be placed anywhere. Now, if you bone meal it, it grows, so you can't add another one to the top of it. I'm clicking. Okay, you can't do that. Instead, you have to use the bone meal to grow it, right? So now it's 2 blocks tall, 3, 4, so on. And also, you have to click the top layer for it to grow. You can't click the bottoms. The main intent for the drip leaf was to be a parkour block, right? So if I were to stand on it, right, and I'm holding shift, and that's why nothing's happening. You may have expected it to drop, right? When I let go of shift, this is what happens. Like they said in the preview, right? Pretty cool mechanic, and I think it'll be good to use for parkour. They did make it so that you can shift, and I think that probably ruins half the parkour aspect. You just go on it, shift, wait to the next jump, and do it, and then shift, you know? It's not like it's timed, oh I have to jump now, otherwise it's gonna fall. These things can also be placed in water, and be waterlogged. So if we just remove that, place here, place one there, we can waterlog it like that. As I was saying, back to the mechanic of it falling, it does grow back like this after that amount of time, okay? And it is, you can't walk through it, right? It is a solid block at the tip. So now moving on to the small drip leaves, right? So these are a little bit different, and they cannot be placed here. I'm clicking here, and they can't be placed here. Also, they can't be placed next to the water. They need to be placed either in the water, and inside the water they can be placed on anything, I think. So even if we had, so either clay or dirt, right now, they both work. If it's underwater, or semi-submerged, okay? It also can go right next to water if it's on clay, but say the clay was over here, it can also go on it. So it doesn't have to be next to the water. It can be in just clay, right? So clay keeps it a drip leaf, right? These, they're not hitbox, right? They're just decoration, right? You can just walk straight through them. However, with bone mealing, they turn into these they turn into the proper drip leaves with random height. You saw that one spawned and it was that tall, this one was that tall, right? See this one's as tall as that, you know? So it's a pretty cool mechanic, I think. Right, so moving on to the last thing on our list, and probably one of the most beautiful things that they have added to 1.17, and that is the Spore Blossom. Now, the Spore Blossom is a giant pink flower, which I'm not quite sure about it yet, because they said that it would create an atmosphere. So you know how when you're in the nether, and you're in the basalt, right? You walk around and you get all these particle effects, and you can feel it's like an atmosphere sort of thing, you know? There's all these part effects. That's what they said would happen for this. You place it anywhere in your base, and it gives you particle effects around near where it is. Now, I don't think what they were saying was making it like this, dripping effects. I think they just haven't had time to add in the particle effects. They also said that they would be able to place standing up and on its side as well. However, I've tested with this and it can only be placed hanging at the moment. So I'm not too sure if this is going to change in later snapshots, but you can find out if you subscribe. They cannot go on the side, I'm clicking, they cannot go on the floor, only can they go underneath. Right, there you are. And it also gets affected if there's a block right next to it with the shadows. But they'll probably fix that later. Oh yes, another thing, this is obviously a bug, but it can be hanging, right? So if we just do this, and then destroy it, this shouldn't happen. It would probably get destroyed along with the block, right? But no, this is obviously just a snapshot, and that's just what's happening now. It will be fixed probably in later snapshots. Just like at one point you could create water in the nether using the glow lichen. Right guys, so I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about the 1.17 snapshot that's happened so far. If you want to keep up to date with what's happening in the 1.17 snapshot, please do subscribe. I do make other content that's not 1.17 snapshots, Minecraft related content, Kerbal Space Program related content, and Microsoft Flight Simulator related content, and other games as well. Alright, so make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with what I'm doing, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd like some of the other videos I did, so make sure to check them out as well. This is yeah, so I think we just gotta jump. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. You guys are legends. If you did enjoy this video, you know, and you liked it, perhaps, give it a like. If you want to see more content, subscribe, alright? Because if you don't, you're just missing out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care, and hi pig, bye bye.